Hello everyone, welcome back down to the Crossroads. Today we're doing something quite a bit different. I wanted to show off a Yu-Gi-Oh deck that was a little bit more competitive, and this right here is definitely that. I say that at least a few years ago it rivaled the meta extremely well, standing up there with Eldritch and Alistair. That's for dang sure. Easy dubs against those any day, really. It's time to get into one of my best decks, and we are here to show you the Tindangle deck. Yes, so without further ado, let's get into this power-packed deck of creatures. Okay, we have monsters, and we're going to start up with the 3 copies of Tindangle Protector. This card right here reads, they're all flip effects, mind you, which, as we all know, is probably one of the better creature types. Flip effect monsters are definitely one of the best. Flip, you can change up to 3 face-down defense position monsters you control to face-up defense position. Then, if all your monsters are Tindangle monsters, you can add up to that many Tindangle cards from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Now, as you guys know, this game's all about searching, and I can get 3 of my guys out. What do you guys get, like 1? Yeah, exactly. You're going to be ahead on any of the best decks. Tindangle. Angry Triangles will win against anything. Pythagoras himself would be extremely pleased. And now, next up, we have 3 copies of Tindangle Gibberish. And now what Tindangle Gibberish states is, flip. You can take 1 flip monster from your deck, except this card, and either add it to your hand or send it to the GY. If this card is in your hand, you can discard 1 other card, send 1 Tindangle card from your deck to the GY, except this card. And if you do special summon this card in face-down defense position, you can only use this effect once per turn. We're going to be throwing a lot of stuff in the graveyard. Think of it as like a better tier limit system, you know, just tier limits, but better. Like, we're sending our cards, at least, to the graveyard for a reason, and a way better reason than just fusion summoning. Weak sauce. So we run this. Alright. Now I'm running 3 copies of Tindangle Angel. Look at that beautiful art. Got wings. I don't really see the angel, but there's a triangle right there. You know, everything is triangles. And Tindangle Angel, flip, special summon 1 monster from your hand or GY in face-down defense position, except this card. Then, if it is your opponent's battle phase, end the battle phase. You can only use this effect once per turn. So ending the battle phase is actually extremely nice. It's a really good card for that. And I definitely recommend you run this at 3 of. I see a lot of deck techs running this at 2 or 1 even. And I'm like, why? This is great. It's one of our nicer lower level monsters that's going to cheat something in the field. You need 3 of these. You need 3 of these. Alright. Now we have 3 copies of Tindangle Trinity, which is really cool. It's like a combo of a bunch of the other Tindangle monsters. Like, I don't think we've seen all of them. You can see, like, this guy right there, and, other things coming up. Tindangle Trinity, flip. You can special summon 1 Tindangle base Gardna from your deck. If this card was flip face up, your Tindangle monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. If this card is sent to the GY as link material for the summoning of a Tindangle monster, you can add 1, Tom Saggett's End, because I can't pronounce what that word says, and my camera focus, that'd be cool, from your deck to your hand. And if you do send 1 spell or trap card from your deck to the graveyard, you can only use this effect of this card once per turn. So you're going to grab you that spell that will be kind of important, And yeah, he has some plays when we link summon, which, you know, we will be doing. Now, we have 3 copies of Tindangle base card. Now, the card that card is going to go and grab us. It's got triangles on it, as you can see. Triangle, triangle, triangle. This one has so many triangles, but yet it itself is not a triangle. Crazy. If you control a face-down defense position monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. You can only special summon Tindangle base Gardener once per turn this way. If a monster is normal or special summoned and is now pointed to an opponent's link monster except during the damage step, you can tribute this card, special summon 1 Tindangle monster from your hand or deck in attack position or face-down defense position. He's going to be one of the more important pieces as well. It really makes this absolutely meta strategy work out. Like, trust me, you're going to want this. And at 3. Because it's going to get itself out and you'll have a creature at least each turn. I know you can't do more than 1 per turn, which kind of stinks, but hey. You know, you get that at least. Now for probably one of our most important cards, we have Tindangle Doles. He's a wormy boy, but he's got triangles. Yup, and them triangles got meat in them. Alright. Flip. You can send 1 spell or trap card from your deck to the graveyard. If this card is sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard, you can target 1 Tindangle monster in your graveyard, except this card is special summon it face down defense position. You can only use this effect of this card once per turn. A Tindangle link monster this card was used as material can make 3 attacks during the battle phase. So he's going to let you super swing. He's going to help with some loading up the graveyard. Definitely probably the most important card in the deck for real. Like, absolutely the most important card, I'd say. And now we have 3 copies of Tindangle Intruder. And he's also a snaky boy, made up of triangles. God, Pythagoras would be so happy right now. Or was he just math? Did he like triangles? Like, later, Google Pythagoras like triangles. Everyone likes triangles. What am I saying? Alright, Flip. You can add 1 Tindangle card from your deck to your hand. When this card is normal summoned, you can send 1 Tindangle card from your deck to the graveyard. If a monster is special summoned to your field face down defense position, while this card is in your graveyard, special summon this card face down defense position. This is not optional. You can only use this effect of this card once per turn. I love that this is not optional. You must do this. If you forget, like, Ra just comes down and bites your neck off. Yeah. So, cool snaky boy made of triangles. And now for our strongest card in the main deck, we run 2 copies of Tindangle Hound. Flip. You can target 1 face-up monster on the field. This card gains attack equal to that original attack. Then change that target to face-down defense position. Each monster your opponent controls loses 1,000 attack for each monster linked to it. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect or sent to the GY, you can target 1 face-down monster on the field, change it to face-up defense position. So he's going to flip. He's got pretty good attack. And yeah, he's just some backup for the Link monster, to be totally for real. It's nice to have him and the Link monster out. That I can say. But that is it for the creatures, monsters. Now let's get on into our spells. Okay, spells. For those with the talent to cast them.
Masturbation is a form of witchcraft.
It's wizard time, motherfucker! Fireball!
We have 3 copies of Stairs of the Mall. Male. During your main phase, you can activate this effect. Discard 1 Tindangle card, and if you do, apply one of these effects. Change 1 face-down defense position monster you control to face-up attack position. Or change 1 face-up attack position monster you control to face-down defense position. This turn, you cannot discard another card with the same name for its effect as Stars of Mail, even if this card leaves the field. So, no more discarding. But, hey, you can change the position of your monsters and load up your graveyard, which is nice. Okay. Now we have 3 copies of Nigel's Protection. It is a triangle. Yep, and it's got little monsters. Like, they're gonna stand in the triangle and make laser beams. Freaking laser beams. Alright, tindangle monsters in your main monster zones cannot be destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effects once per turn. If your tindangle monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, the damage is doubled. You can banish this card from your graveyard and discard 1 tindangle monster. Add 1 Nigel's Protection from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. So this is part of our win con right here. You're going to get the Link monster out with the ability to attack 3 times. You're going to plop one of these out, and boom. That's 3, 6, 9, hopefully, if you have the effect going on. It's really particular that you get this. You need this all to kind of like happen perfectly, but when you do, you're the meta deck. You just win. There is no losing for you anymore. Last up for the spells, we run 2 copies of Nicolas Cage's Circuit. Yeah. And your opponent's monsters cannot attack if you control 3 or more tindangle monsters. Once per turn during your standby phase, you can target 1 tindangle monster your opponent controls. Give control of it, or 1 monster you control. Give control of it to your opponent. You can banish this card from your graveyard and discard 1 tindangle monster. Add 1 of this card from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. So you're gonna make like these little worthless tokens with the boss monster, and you can just load up their board with those useless little tokens. I mean, it might give them tribute, but it's probably just gonna, clog them up. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, that card doesn't seem that great, but we're still meta. Alright, now we got our trap card, so let's get into those. Traps. No tricks. We have 3 copies of tindangle. I don't know what that word means.
Delani.
Like, help me. I don't know what that word is. Okay. When you take battle damage from an opponent's attacking monster while you have 3 or more tindangle monsters with different names in your GY, you can destroy the attacking monster, and if you do, special summon 1 tindangle acute Cerberus from your extra deck. If you control no monsters in your extra monster zones, you can banish this card from your GY and target 3 tindangle monsters with different names in your GY, special summon them in face non-defense position. So spam out 3 creatures to get your Cerberus out, or either way it's going to get your Cerberus back. This is really nice because the Cerberus is kind of our whole entire win condition. Now I have 2 copies of Curious George's End. That just sounds horrible. Target 1 tindangle Link monster you control. Equip this card to it. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. Also, your opponent cannot target it with card effects once per turn. If there are monsters in all zones the equipped monster points to, destroy this card and all of those monsters. Then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the equipped monster's attack before they were destroyed. That's confusing, but honestly, I'm just using it because it makes the Cerberus indestructible. I had to read that card like 3 times. Don't worry, we got the power of editing for that. Next up, we have 2 copies. See, 1, 2. Now you're not going to notice any triangles on this, so, I'm sorry about that, but there was a necessary call. It's called Needlebug Nesting. Send the top 5 cards of your deck to the graveyard. As you see, we want to load up our graveyard anyway. We're going to get things back continuously. We want things with different names, and this helps us. And a bunch of our cards already get themselves back from the graveyard, so no risk with this. Last up for traps, I got 2 copies of Fiend Griefing, and it does target 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard. Shuffle it into the deck, then send 1 Fiend monster from your deck to the graveyard. So it's gonna hopefully mess up one of their later plays when they need a card from their graveyard, and it's going to load up our graveyard. Just another good graveyard support, honestly. Okay, well that's it for the main deck. Let's get into our extra deck. First up, I have 3 copies of Subterra Behemoth Fiendus. His name's John. That's his name. And he gains attack equal to the combined original levels of the Subterra monsters used for its link. We don't care about that. We care about, you can send 1 flip monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon 1 monster from your hand in face down defense position to your zones that this card points to. You can only use this effect of this card once per turn. Once per turn, if a monster this card points to is flipped face up, add 1 flip monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So loads up the graveyard, gets the cards back just for flipping, and he points to 2 spaces, so you can do that pretty easily. If you need a card not to flip, you don't flip a card. If you need a card to flip, flip a card. This is an absolutely great addition for this deck. And then, last up, we have the king, the lord himself, Tindangle Acute Cerberus, the card we've all been hearing about. Gains 3,000 attack if you have 3 or more Tindangle monsters with different names in your graveyard, including base Gardna. So you need that base Gardna in your graveyard. Gains 500 attack for each Tindangle monster this card points to. At the end of battle, if this card declares an attack, you can special summon 1 Tindangle token. It's going to be a 0/0 onto their field. And then you can swing into that token if they have a board that's going to protect them. And then boom, you can swing 2 more times and hopefully get some good damage and use that 1 card to double the damage and win. Yeah, that's the plan. It's super hardcore meta, but I know you'll be able to understand it. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. There's really only one last thing to do. It's magic. Movie magic. Well, you guys have yourselves a merry little whatever. I'll catch you on the next one.